The Israel-Gaza conflict is a long-standing and complex issue that involves political, historical, and religious dimensions. The roots of the conflict can be traced back to the late 19th century when nationalist movements emerged in the Middle East. The establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 and the subsequent Arab-Israeli wars further intensified tensions in the region. One of the key issues at the heart of the Israel-Gaza conflict is the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The Palestinians, who are predominantly Arab Muslims, seek an independent state in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, with East Jerusalem as its capital. On the other hand, Israel considers Jerusalem as its undivided capital and has control over the West Bank and Gaza. The Gaza Strip, a small territory along the Mediterranean coast, has been a focal point of the conflict. In 2005, Israel withdrew its settlements and military forces from Gaza, but tensions persisted. The political landscape in Gaza is complex, with the Islamist group Hamas gaining control of the territory after winning legislative elections in 2006. This led to a power struggle between Hamas and the Palestinian Authority, which is dominated by the Fatah party. The conflict has been marked by cycles of violence, including armed confrontations, rocket attacks, and military operations. Israel has argued that it engages in military actions to protect its citizens from attacks and to counteract terrorism, while Palestinians, particularly in Gaza, argue that they are resisting Israeli occupation and seeking self-determination. International efforts to resolve the Israel-Gaza conflict have been ongoing for decades. The United Nations, the United States, the European Union, and other actors have been involved in various peace initiatives. But a comprehensive and lasting solution has proven elusive. The issues of borders, refugees, settlements, and the status of Jerusalem are among the core challenges that need to be addressed for a sustainable resolution to the conflict. In recent years, tensions between Israel and Gaza have escalated into several significant conflicts. One notable event was the 2014 Israel-Gaza conflict, also known as Operation Protective Edge, which lasted for 50 days. The conflict resulted in significant casualties and damage on both sides, drawing international attention and criticism. There have been intermittent periods of relative calm, interspersed with flare-ups of violence. Ceasefire agreements brokered by various parties, including Egypt and the United Nations, have been reached at times. But they have often proven fragile, with incidents on the ground leading to renewed hostilities. One recurring issue was the launching of rockets from Gaza into Israel by militant groups, particularly Hamas. Israel has responded with military operations targeting militant infrastructure in Gaza. The use of force by both sides has raised concerns about civilian casualties and the humanitarian situation in Gaza, where the population faces challenges such as poverty, restricted movement, and limited access to basic services. The status of Jerusalem has been a particularly contentious issue. In 2017, the U.S. decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and relocate its embassy there sparked widespread protests and condemnation in the Arab world. The status of Jerusalem remains a crucial aspect of any potential peace agreement. Efforts to revive peace talks between Israel and the Palestinians have faced numerous obstacles. The internal political divisions among the Palestinians, with the West Bank under the control of the Palestinian Authority, led by Fatah, and Gaza under the control of Hamas, have complicated efforts to present a unified Palestinian front in negotiations. The issue of Israeli settlements in the West Bank has also been a point of contention. The expansion of settlements, considered illegal under international law, has been a major obstacle to the peace process. International actors, including the United States, European Union, and various Arab states, have been involved in diplomatic efforts to address the Israel-Gaza conflict. However, reaching a comprehensive and lasting solution remains challenging due to the deeply entrenched historical, political, and religious issues involved. The history of the Israel-Gaza conflict is complex and deeply rooted in the broader Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Here's a brief overview of key events leading up to the situation: late 19th century to early 20th century. Nationalist movements emerge in the Middle East. The Zionist movement, seeking to establish a Jewish homeland, gains traction. Balfour Declaration 1917. The British government expresses support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. British Mandate 1920–1948. Britain assumes control of Palestine after World War I. Tensions rise between Jewish and Arab communities. 1947 UN Partition Plan. The United Nations proposes a partition plan to create separate Jewish and Arab states with an international administration for Jerusalem. Jewish leaders accept the plan, but Arab leaders reject it. Establishment of the State of Israel 1948. Israel declares independence on May 14, 1948. Arab states intervene, leading to the Arab-Israeli War. Armistice Agreements 1949. Armistice agreements are signed between Israel and its neighboring Arab states, establishing borders. Six-Day War 1967. Israel captures East Jerusalem, the West Bank, Gaza Strip, Sinai Peninsula, and Golan Heights. Occupation of Palestinian territories begins. Yom Kippur War 1973. Egypt and Syria launch a surprise attack on Israel to regain lost territory. Ceasefire brokered by the United States and the Soviet Union. Oslo Accords 1993. Israel and the Palestine Liberation Organization PLO signed the Oslo Accords, aiming for a two-state solution. Second Intifada 2000–2005. Palestinian uprising against Israeli occupation. Construction of the West Bank barrier begins. Disengagement from Gaza 2005. Israel unilaterally withdraws from Gaza, dismantling settlements. Hamas gains control of Gaza. Hamas-Fatah conflict 2006. Hamas wins legislative elections in Gaza, leading to internal Palestinian tensions. Gaza blockade 2007 present. Israel imposes a blockade on Gaza, citing security concerns. Gaza wars 2008–2009, 2012, 2014. Conflicts erupt between Israel and Hamas, resulting in significant casualties. Recent developments. Periods of relative calm interspersed with escalations. Ongoing efforts for peace, with challenges such as settlement expansion, status of Jerusalem, and internal Palestinian divisions. The Israel-Gaza conflict remains a deeply entrenched and multifaceted issue with historical, political, and religious dimensions. Resolving the conflict involves addressing issues of borders, refugees, settlements, and the status of Jerusalem, among others. International efforts continue, but reaching a lasting and comprehensive solution remains a significant challenge.